Okay, so we take a look at these two swings here now. Then the left-hand one was your before. As we said, a little bit too close to that golf ball for me. Hands really not creating much space there from your legs. And the distance, obviously, your feet from the ball, they're just a little bit too close now. Because of that, I think in terms of the swing, we tend to now take it a bit kind of what we call outside. You can see at this point now, the shaft is kind of sort of dissecting the golf ball here now. Ideally, that club's sort of working a bit more around your body before we start going up. But your swing here now kind of goes up quite straight upwards here, left arm now really high, and if you look at this golf club here now, losing a little bit of control here now at the top. There's a bit of a wobble there with the club, as you can see, not really much movement there with the arms and the body. You can sort of see the shadow of the golf club around here kind of appearing without really much movement of your body at all. So the wrist sort of collapsing there, very much of a lifty style swing, and that's going to mean you're going to come down to the golf ball very vertically, very steep, which will result in a lot of sort of chopping into the ground, hitting the ground very heavy, and the golf club now coming from what we call outside the line, producing that sort of slice off to the right. Now, the problem is the more right the golf ball ends up, the more this way people tend to want to swing on the way back. So their swing sort of goes back on the green line, through on the blue line, and that creates that sort of spin on the golf ball, which unfortunately just sends it like so. So feeling a little bit further from the ball here on that right-hand side, as you can see, about a hand's width away from legs to hands there at address. And then as the club now starts going back, we're going to try and take it underneath this foam. You can see straight away now that club working back on the inside there, sort of tracking around the kind of curve of your body this way as you rotate. So that foam finger there is going to basically create a sort of a visual or a feeling of you swinging it lower and more around. If you look at the backswing here now, a much better backswing. We compare those two up here now. Golf club now in this position, much more over your shoulder. Club looks a lot more in control here now. And as you then come back to the golf ball now, the feeling was to just swing underneath that foam thing, and the sort of feeling of doing that means you've got to bring it from the inside. You've got to bring that golf club in nice and shallow. And as I said, when you came down to bat here, because you moved the club in a different direction, it did feel like you were going to swing over this way. But in reality, as the club swings from it, it does curve round the body. So you're creating that kind of natural curve within the golf swing. And because the club face now is square, that we can see striking the golf ball there, that ball going straight towards the screen there, and we can just rotate around the corner towards target. So you're making a much more kind of efficient swing with a lot less lifting and chopping. And so the benefits of this direction and angle you're swinging the golf club on, there'll be less dig in your shots in terms of going into the ground, which is obviously going to be a benefit, especially playing in the winter months when it's a bit soft, and also reduce a lot of that sort of side spin that we said where the ball's curving off there to the right. So work on that takeaway and that distance from the ball. Just get that sensation that club is working a bit more around your body before it starts going up. Just creating a more kind of flatter swing. We see the left arm, as we said, across your shoulder line nicely, and then the feeling of swinging underneath this sort of foam finger as you come back down creates a much more efficient strike of the golf ball and direction of that golf shot. So I hope that makes sense. Any questions, obviously, just give me a shout when you want, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers, mate.